Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chicana Diaries, episode 6 or 7. I did not check because I literally just hopped off my dual meeting arrangement that I have absolutely no idea how I handled. Yeah, I just had two meetings, two separate admissions officers. One was for UC Berkeley, the other one was for Stanford University, and oh my god, I have no idea how I learned something in both sessions and how I was participating in both sessions, but I just want to say that I feel like a girl boss that. And you see, let me use this as an example to start off our conversation for today, because today our conversation and what we're going to be talking about, and it's literally the title of this video, is let's talk about back to school and daring to dream, but also how, and I think I might have talked about this in another episode, but how you guys are to seize every opportunity that is given and presented to you, no matter how mundane it looks, no matter how busy of a task it looks, no matter if you're like in your dentist's office and you're like literally waiting to be called on in order to get your regular dental checkup. You go to that meeting, especially now that it's virtual. Like, come on, you guys literally have the ability to just like pop in your headphone, and literally your dentist doesn't even have to know that you're in a meeting. You literally you can just put your AirPod in your ear, and like they would never know. And like you could be in your meeting and like getting your teeth clean, and you're like, yeah, and then once they're done and they step out of the room, you can like unmute yourself and literally like ask a question and make a good impression. And that's why it goes back to that thing I told you guys a couple episodes ago about how you guys always have to make yourself known in a room. So moral of the story, literally seize every opportunity that you get. Be that type of student, even if it seems like why does this matter now? Like, I'm literally a sophomore, like why do I even care? Well, if you're asking me that, let me tell you why you should care, and let me tell you why this is literally what our conversation is going to be about today. You need to care because you need to start. And this is what I've learned, over the past couple of weeks, like immersing myself in the college admissions process, immersing myself in all things college, is that this is the type of student that they are looking for. They're looking for those, like, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, they're looking for the people who are going to take advantage of their resources. Oh my god, especially if you are an FGLI, okay, don't even worry about not being too competitive, or like not being competitive enough, or not being, like X, Y, and Z, okay, your story is gonna be compelling because you have an identity or multiple identities, an intersectional, marginalized identity, the things that they love, and your story is going to be compelling. So don't even worry about that. Just worry about being the type of student that is going to take advantage of all of the things that they are to give you, right? And it's so amazing that as a first generation low income student, people like us who have, actually, I'm not sure what my audience is like, but I'm sure it's most of the people that I know, for now, and a lot of people who relate, right, to the things that I'm going through. Chicana Diaries, first generation, low income, Mexican American in a big city, Los Angeles, trying to figure what the hell to do in this city, right, and how to maximize our opportunities, right, and coming from places where you don't usually have that. You don't conventionally just like go abroad, and you don't go to Europe for the summer. Like, I have some people that I know from this nonprofit that I do work for, right, United in Harmony, and they're like abroad right now. They're like in Cabos, they're like in Italy, and having their little Europe Girl summer, which there is nothing wrong with that, right? But it's like us as first generation, low income, there are other things that are on our minds that are worrying us, that are taking up our time, or we're just like working hard at making the most out of our summers and taking summer classes and trying to get there, right, to get into a position right? Where not only are you a competitive candidate, and then you're compelling because you're FGLI, and then if you manage to tell your story correctly, they will understand that. But if you get admitted, the most beautiful thing in the world is that if you get admitted into the institution that you want to get admitted to, especially because, and I learned this like literally this week, being diverse is an institutional priority right now, which is something that the institution is taking into consideration, which gives your application extra weight, unless you're like up against some legacy student, that they're ready to give you the money and the resources to be the best that you can possibly be. And that is so fucking amazing. I'm sorry for the profanity kids out there, college admissions officers out there. Stanford literally said today that they don't look at social media. They don't go like looking yourself up, but just in case. Yeah, it's so freaking amazing how literally they're just ready to. It's like getting free access to a buffet, and you like can just pick out from anything, anywhere, any pick, especially if you go to a liberal arts institution and then you have like the opportunity to design your own major and do literally what you love, and you have the freedom that you haven't had ever, right? Financially and in terms of opportunities, right? You have financial freedom. And oh my god, as a FGLI, as a first generation low income student, and I'm gonna hammer this into you guys' heads, that is literally the most amazing thing in the freaking world. You have financial freedom, okay? If you choose the right institution, your financial aid will travel with you. If you choose the right institution, you will matter to them. You will be part of a community. You will be part of another community, an intellectual community. If you choose the right institution, one that is diverse, one that gives FGLI resources, you will be part of a community of FGLIs who are climbing up the social ladder just like you and who are going through the same experiences. And so you're just going to have access to this community of intellects and people who are literally so amazing that you cannot even imagine that this is your life. And so literally, yeah. So that is, I don't remember where this rant came from, but that is why that is why seizing every opportunity that comes your way matters. That's why I'm literally like part of College Match, late junior year. I was like, okay, Marissa, now is the time. You don't know how to do this. Nobody in your family has done this ever before. And so how are we going to make this happen for you? And then I signed up for the College Access Organization. Then I got these opportunities, access to these opportunities. I looked into summer programs because I was like, I'm not going to stay, put. And so, even if journalism might now be something, because communication, something that I want to pursue, it is something that I took advantage of. And they're also giving me college access resources and, all of these things. And so always take every opportunity that you can get. And that is why I showed up to the Berkeley admissions officer meeting. That's why I laughed at my face off when I got to talk to her. I was like, I'm scattered brain too, hoping to make a good impression, hoping to, give that welcoming energy, hoping, to like that, and then that's where I showed up with the Stanford admissions officer, and I was also participating and making the most out of the thing, because it's not even about only making a good impression, it's also miraculously about you getting the most out of these opportunities that you can possibly get, and you just got to take advantage of those things. It's like I went in, I took a heck of a lot of notes about the college admissions process that I hope to one day share with you guys, because demystifying the college admissions process and my whole thing was to be because him getting the unique opportunity to get the college admissions process demystified for me, because I am a first generation low income student who has never done this before, and I'm hoping to do the same for you. That's what I meant. I'm hoping to demystify the college admissions process for all of you by sharing all of my knowledge that I have gotten from all of my programs, and because this is like not top secret things, these are the things that people have access to, like people who have done this more than once literally know this because they learn it. But as this first generation low-income students, and I'm holding on to that, and my other identity, woman, right? We don't get access to those things, and so I am sharing with you guys because I want you to know, and I want to transmit my passion for all of these things to you guys, because that is literally what matters to me. Okay, so anyway, I took a lot of notes. We're gonna want to return that. That's for another project that I'm doing. I literally wrote my notes in a napkin and an envelope. But anyway, I took a bunch of notes for you guys and for me, about just like Stanford admissions process and holistic review, which was really, really good. And I'll literally just go. I mean, I've talked about this before, and I'm sure I will repeat it again sometime about just how amazing it is that, for a lot of selective colleges and what they're selecting, the criteria upon which they are selecting you, thank goodness, is not purely statistics. It's not purely quantitative. It's also qualitative in who you are as a person, and understanding your circumstance, and understanding where you come from, and understanding you and what makes you tick and what makes you go, and knowing what, oh my cat just came in, knowing what is going to make you and propel you to succeed in their institution, right? They're trying to build a class, they're trying to build a community. That is literally the only thing that distinguishes these higher education places, selective colleges, because they're literally selecting a class. And so, yeah, I don't know, it's just literally amazing. I was reflecting on my life, and I think I've mentioned this to you guys too, but it's literally, if done right, the college admissions process. Can't English. Sometimes, Spanish was my first language. English is, I didn't speak English till the second grade. But anyway, if done right, the college admissions process should be a time for self-reflection. It should be a time to get to know you, what makes you tick, what will keep you going in the next coming years. And so that is what we are doing. That is the secret to college admissions. It is literally the thing that is going to get you into these institutions. Just make sure. And for all of my seniors out there who are applying this year, I learned this today, and I want you to know, for every application that you do, please, for the love of God, do not rush it. And that wasn't a religious thing, that was just like an expression. But do not rush it. Make sure that in every application you are recognizable as a person. Like, if somebody read your application, like, they could tell that it's you, that those are your interests, that is you as a person, like, your voice is coming through, because that is literally, like, they can sense, shallowness. They could, like, literally, the Berkeley admissions officer said that. She said that her biggest pet peeve when reviewing college applications is that, some people are shallow. Some people don't go, didn't do the work. They're not reflecting on who they am and the accomplishments that they've done, and don't even worry about not being too, like, accomplished enough, because accomplishments could be in the house, personally, as an individual, like, everybody goes through things, and it's up to you to reflect on those things. And so, literally just reflect, put forth your best self, and make sure that you are representing yourself wholly, to the best of your ability, using every space given to you when you do these things. And obviously, I'm not like, your college counselor, and I probably shouldn't be advising you on these things, but these are the things that I'm learning, and these are the things that I want to pass on to you, because, I mean, it's crazy to me how, like, not everybody has access to this kind of knowledge, and so often I'm, like, freaked out myself because I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do, and I don't know if I should leave California, and I don't know if I should stay in California, and obviously I want to run away from California, but I've never been away from my family before, and I want to go and be better, but prior to going, like, I didn't even know what a CSU was. I didn't know anything, right? I didn't know what a Pell Grant was. I didn't know what ED was, or EA, or SEA, or it being the same thing as REA. I didn't know EFC. This college jargon. And it's just crazy to me how not everybody, because they're not deemed talented enough or like high achieving enough or have a high enough GPA, you know, or maybe because there's just not enough resources in the world, then not everybody has the opportunity to have access to this knowledge. And like me, I'm like already drafting my personal statements because I'm part of this program, and my PIQs, you know, I'm already thinking about these things. I had the privilege to talk to 2 college admissions officers about this today. But there's some people, and maybe you, the person that is watching this, hasn't done it yet, right? Hasn't started, but I don't know, you should definitely start. And yeah. I hope that I can help you in some sort of way, that I can inspire you to get started, that any of the helpful things that I learned are helpful to you too. And also something that might help you guys in starting your personal statements. And this is literally not what the podcast was going to be about today. It wasn't supposed to be about UCs and personal statements, but that's just what I'm going through today. The Stanford admissions officer said that because I had a question, and we had done this mock case study, right, about this mock admissions process of admitting a student to Stanford. He was a really great student. He had like a bunch of extracurriculars. He was like really emotionally intelligent. He had a bunch of family responsibilities. He was involved in his community. He was involved in his student community. He seemed to be overall a great person, really empathetic, would have been a great student, but I voted to admit him, but he got waitlisted in our mock admissions process. And that was literally because apparently his statements were to like his essays, and watch out for the fact that the more selective the college, the more supplementals that you're going to have to admit. If you don't know what a supplemental is basically like specific essays that you're supposed to submit to like colleges, depending on the college that you admit, that you apply to. But basically, my peers waitlisted him because, well, a girl said that his essays were too cliche, because it was about like his parents' divorce and like how he went through turmoil. Obviously, everybody with like divorced parents goes through this like moment of instability and this, you know, not knowing what to do next, and you know, having to mature earlier because of it, right? And apparently that was one of the main reasons why he was waitlisted. But I had a question about cliche essays, because I was like, okay, well, if you can't, like, if he got waitlisted because he wrote a cliche essay, is that something that we should like steer away from? Because I mean, me too, I like have divorced parents, and so I was like thinking about it, and I was like, okay, it was a formative experience in my life. Yeah, it made me get more independent. Yeah, it like gave me emotional intelligence like him. You know, if the whole point of the college admissions process is to distinguish yourself from the other candidates, to distinguish yourself from the pool, to be different, like, is it something that we should steer away from, right? Like writing about these cliches. And she was literally like, no. She was like, no, you do not have to steer away from it, because essays have interpretations, and this was just one variation of it. You know, like a lot of people go through these difficult times, but it's all about the way that you respond. It's all about the way that you explain it. It's all about what you learn from it. And so then I found out from my peer that was the reason why she had waitlisted him, and why the rest of them had waitlisted him. It was because he did not give enough. He used more of his word count as a description of the time that he was going through, about the turmoil that he was going through, rather than how he rose up from it, rather than like being the phoenix, right, the newborn phoenix coming up from the ashes. It was about him burning, right, like him the fact that there's literally a phoenix in my background, but it was more about the situation than how he grew from it, right? And his personal statement was less personal. It was more of circumstance. and that was the reason why they had not admitted him, despite him being a outstanding candidate, because the college admissions process, more than anything, and more than your application being competitive, because anybody's application can be competitive, right? Anybody can have the stats for it. It's not that hard to get A's and B's, into a couple extracurriculars. It's about your application being compelling. Tell me why there are students who are at Ivy League institutions who have below the average. Like, I know somebody who had a 3.8 and got into Brown, like, that is below the average. They weren't, maybe it wasn't a 3.8, but they were outside of the 10% class rank, which is what Brown averages for like their students, and that's in their student profile, right? They were like they didn't conform to the student profile, and that was because their essays were so unique and so compelling, and so like they were able to build a big enough picture about the person that they were able to say, damn, this is an amazing person to admit and have be part of our class. And now she's succeeding. She's like above and beyond like anything that anybody could have ever dreamed of being, right? She's like class president, and she's doing amazing. So yeah, that's a little bit a little insight that I learned today and over the past couple of weeks about what they're looking for. And yeah, just I'm hoping that it gets easier as we go, but just build a big enough picture of yourself for the college admissions officers to see and to understand you and to know what makes you tick. And that's why they stress so I was gonna curse again. That's why they stress so much that you oh, I lost my train of thought. They stress so much that the school will be a good fit for you, because if you're a good fit for the school and the school sees the things that they prioritize and the things that you prioritize, they're gonna admit you because you're the type of student that they want, and yeah, I don't know, I think I've talked about being a Stanford student before, but just being like the type of student that seizes things and go gets some. But I do remember, I can mention it again, it's like, okay, it's literally all the same, just a different vibe. Also, do you guys like my makeup today? I did it before, and I was literally so excited. I also made this shirt because I didn't like it before and I thought it was so cute. Okay, let me see. Let me check my checklist. Let me see what else I was going to talk to you guys about. Basically, it was just going to be about back to school. Yeah, okay, so we were going to talk about back to school and daring to dream, and I was going to give you guys all a little bit of... I literally dropped my Virgen de Guadalupe. That is literally bad luck right there. Okay, I was literally going to give you guys some tips and some tricks, and I literally do not even remember where I had written this down, but I guess I'll just go off of the memory, because now what am I supposed to do? What am I even supposed to do? Yeah, I actually have no idea where I wrote it. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's have a conversation about back to school, because this is really important, and I've been promising this for 1,010 years. But yeah, now going back to school, and I do think that it was about the Stanford, it was about the Stanford admissions officer, and everything. I literally just don't even know. But okay, so basically, now going back to school and showing up as your best self and being everything that you've ever wanted to be and daring to dream. So, as we all know, and I'm sure you guys are going through this too, because I was gonna do it like this and then like this. I love my seniors out there who are like working their butts off in order to get themselves into college, because you guys are literally like so freaking amazing. And for all of you guys who are not seniors, I know you guys are like gonna start working your butts off to get into college, because it's literally the end goal. And if you don't want to get into college, that is literally like so okay. That's like, you know, it's not the path for everyone. But you know, I'm just gonna talk about being a Stanford kid, because I have been writing about it, and maybe just my memory is like a goldfish, and I literally do not remember. But okay, now going into the new school year for all of my senior peoples, and everyone, I guess, just like, I don't even know where to start. Show up as your best self. Okay, that's tip number 1. Okay, let's do it like this. I'm just gonna give you guys like 10 tips. Tip number 1. Okay, just show up as literally your best self. Like every single day, every single moment, like at some point, and that is literally what I'm gonna go through right now. But at some point you're gonna have to ask for letters of recommendation, and like the other Stanford admissions officer that I was talking to before mentioned, you're gonna want to be the type of student that they can write a positive recommendation for. You know, you gotta be like, maybe you're not this, you're not as extroverted, or you're like more introverted and you're more reserved, or you're more like, you know, there are different approaches to learning, but just being like the type of student who is engaged and takes every class as an opportunity to actually learn, because that is like what going to college is for. It's pursuing higher education, is you deliberately making the choice to continue learning, and moving forward and loving to learn. And I don't even freaking know who said that going to college is like this mystical process, but it's literally all about pursuing your passions, and pursuing the things that you love to learn. And so you can start getting ready for like the college admissions process ever since like before, when you are like a sophomore or a freshman, and you like start exploring your passions, and you start going and getting things, and you show up to class every single day, you know, prepared to learn, to ask questions, to be engaged, to make a difference, right? It's all about impact these days, and just showing up and being that type of student, and not taking every class for granted, not being like, ugh, you know. And I know that sometimes it's hard, because sometimes you're tired, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, about, you know, sleep schedules and things like that. But I know that sometimes you get tired, and I know that sometimes it gets hard. I know that sometimes it's boring, because not every day can be the best day of everybody's entire life. But, you know, just showing up and being willing to learn something new, to be open-minded, to, you know, just give every day your genuine all, and just be that type of person, and just be open, talk to people, and make connections, and take advantage of the opportunity to even go to high school. And if you're dreaming of going to a selective college, that is literally how you start. You know, they said they don't even really care about grades. They like, okay, they do care. The only reason that they look at your transcript is to make sure that you succeeded. So A's and B's, a C, if you get a C, you know, you can justify a C and the additional information. But it's all about like who you are as a person. And I literally had a teacher last year, my history teacher, Mr. Burba, if you're out there, who literally, he did grade, you know, like I did do well in his class and everything, but I mean, that's not to say I was a perfect, you know, I was a stereotypically perfect student. You know, I wasn't like, you know, turning in every assignment on time, or turning in every assignment. You know, I did miss a large chunk of the assignments, but let me tell you that every day, while I didn't submit all of the assignments, I did skim the notes, and I did do some of the notes, and I was always prepared for my readings, and I always brought genuine passion to the classroom. And for our discussions, and our discussions about American history were then more more than just about, recorded history, recorded facts and dates and people. It was about, I tried to come in every day with my perspective and give what we learned relevance. It wasn't about, getting an 100 on that assignment or getting an 100 on that DBQ or FRQ or MCQ, It was about how learning about civil rights was actually about, modern day, the modern day fight for freedom and equality in this country, and what democracy means and meant now, and understanding how the United States has been imperfect for a really long time, and how there needs to be a push for like social equity and things like that. I brought that to the table. It wasn't about getting that perfect score. I wasn't about getting an A because you got an A on every assignment. It was because you were an A student, right? It was like you were an A student on different criteria than just quantitative criteria. It was about like showing up and wanting to learn, I think, or apply that knowledge. And I think that that's something that I've always had that I really appreciate about myself, and I think that it's something that is gonna help me in the future, and maybe trying to approach education with a lens, and this is how I do it, but a lens that's more of a hey, how can I apply this knowledge? How is this knowledge relevant? Rather than, your stereotypical American education type of way where it's memorization and facts. Because like even in Burba's class, it was like AP US history, and the entire point of the class was to memorize a bunch of facts and dates and people and places and battles and things that really didn't matter to me. After I would take my AP exam, and I did end up getting a 4, right? I did end up passing, but it's not even gonna matter that much to colleges. It's just gonna, like, if I submit my score, it's just gonna be about the fact that I succeeded in an advanced learning class, and I'm just gonna look academically like, rigorous or whatever, competent, academically competent, and it's not gonna be about anything else. And so what you get out of that experience more than anything is the real world application of that knowledge, right? It's approaching education in this way where it's more than just about memorization and dates and places and people, right? It's about real life stuff. Like, you guys don't know this, and I'm about to tell you this and give you guys an insight on my life, but literally education to me is the fuel for my social awareness, and my social, my education gives me the social awareness and global awareness that I need in order to be a proper advocate for environmental rights, for in progress, right? Social progress, economic progress. I'm educated, and I'm being educated on these oppressive systems, regimes, ways of existing, right? And historically, their historical roots, in order to be able to apply that and make a positive impact on the world. It's literally what I love so much, and I just learned about this college the other day when I went to visit with my org, right? But Pitzer College, their entire, one of the Claremonts, their entire one of their entire values is just, or it might be their motto, but it's education for, what is it? It's like education for a better world or something like that. Something really societally driven like that. Because apparently, in little story time and sidestep, they were founded in the 1960s, during all of that hippie social reform movement era, as just a way to do that, right? To educate people for the greater good, to make social progress, to make an impact on the world, right? And a lot of their core values as a school are sustainability. Their dorms are literally environmentally certified, and all of those things, and it's just so freaking amazing. But yeah, just being that type of student, and having that perspective shift when it comes to education and unlearning the way that we have approached education for a really, really long time is really, really beneficial in order to get a head start in the college admissions process, because that is what they want. They want you to be intrinsically motivated. They want you to be intellectually curious. I forgot what the other one was that the admissions officer said today, but they want you to be, let's see if I can find it on my notebook. It was something about having an intellectual edge or something like that. I literally forgot. Damn, I literally do not know, but it was something about that, right? It was something about you wanting to learn, about, wanting to pursue all of these things, whether you're introverted or extroverted or anything in between. It's like, no matter who you are, wanting to learn, being the thing that connects you, that drives you, that makes you go, because it's like it's like being in it's like them literally giving you freedom. And I went through that rant already before, but yeah. Okay, so now there's literally music playing outside. But now, okay, I think we'll wait. Okay, sorry, the music's gone, but it's not gone. Okay, perfect. Now that it's gone. Okay, so second tip, and I think that this is coming straight out of my junior experience. This is literally for my juniors, because the other one was for my sophomores and beyond. This one's specifically for my juniors out there. Especially if you're an IB. Oh my god. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to eat. I know it sounds so simple and so stupid, but don't forget to eat. Don't forget to drink water. Don't forget to feed and nourish yourself and get as much sleep as you possibly can. I know that that's gonna seem literally impossible, and you're gonna be like, sleep is not an option. Don't get me wrong, I was the biggest advocate for no sleep, and I for a really long time during junior year, my motto was, sleep is for losers. I would look people dead in the eyes like this and be like, sleep is for losers, and I would mean every single word that I said. But the reality of the situation is that lifestyle is not sustainable. And even being just your regular AP kid or just your regular high school kid, and especially if you're an Ivy kid, that lifestyle is not sustainable. I'm gonna repeat it again, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, because at the end of the year, and take this from my experience, and don't be like, no, Marissa, I can prove you wrong. I don't really need sleep. I'm already used to this. You need sleep. Because let me take this from personal experience. By the end of the year, my body physically could not wake up. My body physically could not wake up. At the beginning of the year, it was 3:30. Wake up at 3:30, work, go to sleep at 5:30, wake up at 6:30, go to school, get there early. That lifestyle is not sustainable, no matter how many Monsters you drink, no matter how much matcha you drink, no matter how much coffee you drink. It is not sustainable. And I had energy seltzers in my locker because I needed the energy, and I'm not really a coffee lover, which I wish I was really. But what can we do? But you need sleep. Junior year and going into it, it's all about time management. It's all about prioritizing things, right? I was that word doesn't sound right. It's all about prioritizing things. It is about it's the one that goes into your UC GPA. You do want to get those straight A's, so don't overwhelm yourself. Don't burn yourself out. Try and be as well-rounded as possible. Try and be as taking care of yourself and your mental health is not a bad thing. Unlearn those things and learn those societal expectations it's so archaic. And I always talk about this, but it's a concept from literally the Industrial Revolution. Why are we still living in this type of way? And it's one of my biggest fears to live in this way. But it's just like the whole American culture. It's like hustle culture. It's like, if you're not producing, then it's bad, and you should be ashamed, and you should always be producing. And if I had $1 for every single time that I felt guilty for like not working, or for not like being productive, whatever that means, you know, like I would do like 6 assignments and I would still not feel productive. And that was literally like one of the craziest times ever, because I felt like I had to be constantly producing, that I had to be constantly doing things, and that was like literally so crazy. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking care of yourself and taking a mental health break and taking a mental health day. And I know for like those of you who are in IB, like sometimes you're gonna be like I was like this, and I was like, hey, you know, I can't take a mental health day. I have to be in every single one of my classes every single time. And like, I mean, I did. And I'm talking to you, this is about learning from me, guys, because like I would literally leave school. Like, if I had a dentist appointment, or I had like a doctor's appointment, I would literally leave. Like, I would leave school and strategically plan it in order for me to come back and have missed no class. Like, I literally made like a really like tight schedule about how I could go protest without missing any classes, or missing this experiment. And it was literally like the craziest time to be alive, you know? It's like, you know, I mean, it is, I do have to say and give myself a pat on the back. I did have amazing time management, but it is not the most sustainable lifestyle, right? It's not like, you cannot do that. It's okay to take breaks. And I wish that somebody had told me that, because I wouldn't have gotten burnt out. I wouldn't have like gone through these things, you know? But sometimes it's okay. You know, sometimes even colleges, like, you're like, oh my god, I'm doing, like, I said this, I'm like, nobody take this as a personal attack, but I said this, and like, I have friends who can vouch for me. You know, I would do 1,010 things, get burnt out, get tired, and continue going, you know? And there's like, colleges oftentimes will stop, like, you know, they're not gonna take like 15 extracurriculars. Like, for your UC, I think you're capped at like 10. You know, it's like, you don't have to be doing like a bunch of little extracurriculars. You can have like 5 strong ones, you know? It's like, there is nothing wrong with not doing everything all the time. And I know that that's something that I wish somebody had. Well, I mean, no matter how much anybody had told me it, I don't think I would have believed it. I would have been like, you know, F you, like, I can, you know, I'm myself. And I actually did do that, because my IB coordinator, she's like, Marissa, you're taking a curriculum, and you've decided to take on this curriculum that is gonna kick your butt, and you have no idea what it's gonna do to you, because you have never ever been academically challenged. And ever since I came to DMHS, they were like, you know, like, getting straight A's is like not even a thing, you know, like, school is just this hard, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. And I was like, well, I guess you have never met me. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And guess what? I actually did prove them wrong for like 3 years, and I got straight A's every single semester, except this year, because IB was a little hard and I had to make some sacrifices, and I got my first B, but that's okay, because like, math is complicated and COVID hit and everything, you know? But it's just all of this. So it's okay to take your mental health breaks. That's my second piece of advice. It's okay to take mental health breaks. It's okay to not do everything all the time. It's okay to, you know, say, okay, I'm not going to do homework tonight, because I was putting in 8 hours of school, 6 hours of homework after, and that horrible sleeping schedule that I was on. And, you know, it's like, learn to time manage. Third piece of advice, learn to time manage. Learn how to, like, I don't know what type of person you are, but if you are a paper person, learn how to, like, I literally have a notebook for everything. Like, I can't have a planner, so I needed like a notebook, and so I can take like random notes or whatever that I need. This is I call them my everything notebooks. You know, I have my everything notebooks. And if you're a paper person, make schedules, make notes, make things. If you're a digital person, if you're a digital person, I recommend Notion. I'm also a digital person. I actually the way that I function is just I write everything everywhere, and I even have it on my phone. Like I have my notes app opened right now for like for like the Chicana Diaries thing. But if you're a digital person, use Notes, use Notion, use Notion's really good, by the way. Use Google Calendar, use any other productivity apps that they're out there, you know, like just use something to time manage, right? Use something to keep track of your things, use something to do things timely. And I know I also didn't do this last year, and I tried to the best of my ability, and there was really short period of time where I did do this, and I was like a little bit like I was 1 day ahead of all of my assignments all the time, for like a week or so or something, and that helped me to time manage your butt off so that you literally do not have to like make sacrifices when it comes to your health. I was literally like, work is everything, don't have that workaholic mindset, because work is not everything. Like, it's actually not everything. And so you do have to realize that, and you know that there are times in the mindset that really helped me last year when approaching the school year. I was like, okay, what is it? Oh god, I blanked. I thought about something else. I have the memory of like Dory, but it was work when you have to work and rest when you have to rest. Learn how to do that. Learn how to not feel guilty. Learn how to draw boundaries. Learn how to separate those things, and your life will be so much better. Okay, so that was my third tip. And I think let's see if I have anything else when it comes to school. Showing up as your best self. Seniors. Okay, that was for my juniors out there. Also juniors and juniors. Last thing, if you can get straight A's, if you can do that, do it. Like, if that is within your possibilities, do it, because this goes towards your UC GPA, and I absolutely did not know that, and only your junior and senior year grades get calculated into that, and so you can literally have like above a 4.0 in that, even if you like messed up your first 2 years, which is really cool. Now seniors, my seniors, don't procrastinate your college applications. Do not procrastinate your college applications. Begin working on it. I have been told this multiple times right now, and it's like not even senior year yet. It's not even like the beginning of senior year yet. There's like 2 weeks left. But sorry. I'm blanking. I'm losing my head. College applications. College applications are going to be like another class, and so expect to put that amount of work in. My friend who is at Brown literally put in like 60 hours of her college applications, you know, like for her Brown application solely. And so it's like, it's something that you have to be consistently working on. Your essays, you know, writing is rewriting. You're absolutely not gonna get it at the first get-go. Like, please do not even come at me if you're like, you know, trying to finish your essays the day before that they're due. Always give yourself like a little leeway. Always like submit a little early. And I have heard horror stories for the UC portal the day that things are due, because there's like literally so much traffic and everybody trying to submit it. So submit it at least a week early. But make sure that everything's okay, you know, that you have your like letters of recommendation and things like that. Everything is set to go. Writing is rewriting. You're not going to get it in the first try, right? Editing, peer reviewing, working on those things. Start brainstorming now. Keep track of the applications that you've submitted. Keep track of the supplementals that you have to write. You know, I'm literally like making a spreadsheet because there's literally so many, and I want to apply to like 20 private colleges, and so I need to keep track of those, because literally the worst thing and one of my greatest nightmares is like going to submit, like, let's say for instance, like for instance, like my I don't know, like we're talking about Stanford, submitting my Stanford application and being like, and me logging in and copying and pasting all of my responses into my comment app and being like, oh my freaking god, I forgot another supplemental, and it being like a day before, and I do not have time to go through the entire process of like writing is rewriting and peer editing and getting my college counselors to look at that and all of those things. And then what am I supposed to do? Like, my application is going to be complete, and it needs to be complete for me to be considered. And this is literally me giving them insight into like who I am as a person and all of those things. And if I can't do that effectively, then I'm not going to be admitted, because if, like we were talking about with the case study, if I don't do that effectively, then they don't understand me, what makes me tick. I can't be distinguished like as a person, and then rejection. And so we don't want that, and I want all of you to succeed, and so I want all of you to get started on those things and get organized with those things and make spreadsheets and keep a calendar and all, like literally the time management things that I said for the juniors. Literally do that for yourself too, because you're gonna need that. And so yeah, but yeah. And also, oh my god, when it comes to financial aid, please keep track. Like, this is the last thing. I'm almost finished with the podcast. Okay, now this is the last thing. I'm sorry about that. My dad just got here. But the last thing I'm gonna say for the seniors is, okay, sorry, my dad just got here. But the last thing that I'm gonna say for the seniors is that keep track of deadlines. And make sure to check, especially being FGLI and all of the things, and you gotta work a little harder. Keep track of all of the deadlines and check if they're priority deadlines, check if they're financial aid deadlines. The worst thing that could ever happen to you is like you applying for college and then being like, okay, wait, but like I'm not gonna get like financial aid, so like how am I gonna afford it, So like don't go doing your FAFSA like a couple of days before, because there is like no way that's humanly possible that you're gonna finish your FAFSA application. And don't start like your CSS profile like the month before it's due, because like there's no way that's humanly possible that you're gonna finish that, because I heard that they ask like really weird and random things to calculate your financial aid, that they're gonna send to the colleges to calculate your financial aid, and it's like really, really like specific. And so you're gonna need time to do that. You're gonna need like more than a month to do that. And so October 1st, mark your calendars. That's when FAFSA and CSS, FAFSA opens October 1st, whatever. I don't know when the CSS profile opens. Might be October 1st if I'm not mistaken, but it's coming. And so mark those deadlines. I'm gonna mark those deadlines. I'm literally gonna Google it right now. I'll put it on the screen if like I find it. But yeah, and also for seniors, oh my god, this podcast is going like over, and I literally have to go, and I can maybe talk about this later, but start doing your college research like right now, and start making your college list. And if you're on top of it, you're like already on this, like make your Common App profile, do the waiver, the thing where you release you let go of your rights to look at your letters of recommendation to make sure that they're confidential. FERPA authorization. Do your FERPA authorization. Start looking at the supplementals. Start making the things. Start researching your colleges. Add your colleges on your Common App. Start organizing it. Start looking into the colleges for Y essays. Literally, I'll talk about this like I literally need to go, but I'll talk about this like afterwards. But for your Y essays, like start doing the research. Start like, I literally have like a Google Drive that I can like overlay over this, of where I'm like gonna do my supplementals and my Y essays and just like why Princeton, why Yale, why whatever. So when you're doing your college research, and you literally have to get started now because it's so intensive and so deep that you have to go into it, right? That you must like start noting like the things that you like about the college. Like if you can picture yourself there, if there's something that you don't like, and maybe you shouldn't consider that college anymore, but if there's things that you specifically like I for instance like Wellesley, and for now I can tell you that like after looking at their website and taking notes on on the environment, I like that they're diverse. I like that they're like close to 2 cities. I like that like in one of the residential houses they have like baking supplies, and another one they have like classes where they do where it's like sustainable dinner, and so they like harvest like their own like all the ingredients for their dinner from there, and literally like all of that, and that's why I love Wellesley. And so like just start doing that, start getting at it, start getting organized. For all of you, start getting organized, start showing up as your best self, start looking for opportunities, start seizing the day, start, you know, this is like back to school is literally so much more than your let's buy a new pencil case and let's buy a new notebook and let's just show up and like impress everybody the same day. It's literally about you, your own personal experience, what you're going to do, how you're going to harness your passions, how you're going to continue, how you're going to move forward, how you're going to step up. And yeah, just go out, my little turtles, mercenators, and like do stuff. Get involved in your school community, get involved in your community, your like community at large, your cities and things like that. Go make change if that's what you're into. I'm going. And so okay, sorry, last interruption, but yeah, just go out, make some change, be awesome. I'll see you guys for the next Chicana Diaries episode. I literally have to go. Okay. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye.